Hey everyone, it's Christian here, and it's another palm review. This time we're going to do a palm that is often looked over, especially in the cold hardy world. This is Sabal causiarum, and this is from Puerto Rico. It's known as the Puerto Rican hat palm, and I'm here at a local eatery, I guess. It's not quite a diner, not quite a restaurant. I guess it's a restaurant. So it's called Anita's. It's here in Nokomis, right here right near Albee Road and 41 meet, US 41 here in Nokomis, just north of Venice. And this palm is basically like a massive palmetto. It's native to Puerto Rico. It's not native to Florida or the US. And it is, if you can look at the trunk on this, it's absolutely massive compared to a palmetto. I don't know if you guys can get a good idea of the girth there. Let me try and find a palmetto nearby. For a regular palmetto is going to be, let's see, well, I can't find one nearby, but if you look at kind of in the distance, and it's about double the girth with the width, and I mean total mass is probably like 4 times if you add in all the dimensions there. So it's going to grow in the same manner as the palmetto. It's basically, it has almost the same cold hardiness. I would say it's probably within a few degrees of cold hardiness of the palmetto, and it's actually the upside to this palm is that it's extremely fast growing for a Sabal. I should say it's probably a moderate grower overall, but for a Sabal, it's probably the fastest growing of them all. This palm might be 10 years old, where a palmetto of this size would probably be about 17 to 18 years old, depending on the growing conditions. Now, these are great structural palms for any yard that can handle. Basically, I would try it in 8B and up for sure, maybe zone 8A, and they can probably handle down to 12 or 13 degrees. There are some Caribbean Sabals that can't handle that, like Sabal mauritiiformis, Sabal yapa, are a couple that off the top of my head. Now, I also want to discuss, there's another species of Sabal called Sabal domingensis, and it looks almost identical to this. And the thing is about that plant is that they basically are the same plant biologically, and they probably will become one species and not be split into two anymore. We can go over and take a look at the other one here, which is a little bit taller, I guess you could say. Maybe a little bit easier to see in some aspects. But the crown is quite large, and if you want to get a palm that will make a big statement that stands out a little bit, sort of like a royal, but you can't grow a royal in your area, it's just too cold. These will grow easily in anywhere pretty much that you see a palmetto. So, you know, around the lake in Louisiana, like in Houston, would definitely be fine. Possibly in Dallas, definitely all over California. You know, in all the lowland areas, not up in the Sierra Nevada mountains, all over the Mediterranean, and any Mediterranean climate, these will do well in. Sorry, we'll move there in the camera, and they also. I mean, you can plant them as a very small plant too. You can plant them as a few leaf seedling, and they'll grow right up. In fact, the sooner you plant it, these are probably brought here at this size, and they're probably, I think they've only been here for for like 6 to 12 months. So they also handle hurricane winds just as well as a palmetto does, which is to say excellent. I don't know if you can see, there's no broken fronds on here. Probably saw about 80-mile-an-hour winds, so I'm not saying that they're hurricane resistant, but they're pretty hurricane tolerant. I'm going to go and discuss the tolerance of different species of palms to hurricanes in a separate vlog, because that can be a vlog of its own. But the crown is the same thatching as a palmetto. It's just a lot larger, and it's faster growing and almost just about as cold tolerant. I would say, if you can think of a palmetto, add about 2 degrees. So say a palmetto is good to 8 to 10 degrees. A causiarum is going to be a good 10 to 12 degrees, give or take, depending on your climate, your humidity, and winds. With the faster growth, it's more rewarding. Watching a palmetto grow, even here in Florida, can be quite slow, and that's why often you just don't see people planting them as a small plant. You don't see them in pots. People don't grow them in pots, but they do grow these in pots, and they are, you know, if you're growing them and you say you want to, so you get a bunch of seed, you want to sell them, they actually go for a decent amount of money in a larger size, especially to people who want to grow them to this size and sell them. So the seed's going to look a little bit bigger than a palmetto, but it's going to be generally the same size. Just going to need a lot of heat, a lot of water. The drainage really doesn't matter. Good drainage is always better as long as you keep it wet, but they will take swampy conditions, and they can take some flood. If this were to flood out and for a day and come back, they're fine with that. There are a lot of palms that don't like that, but these are completely fine. They're kind of overlooked, like I said. You see them around planted. In fact, I was going to do this vlog at the interchange of I-75 and Laurel Road, where they planted a line of Bismarcks and a line of a bunch of other species, including mules, dates. I can't remember what else. But they had these sometimes get accidentally mixed in with Bismarcks because they look like a green Bismarck essentially. So someone might accidentally pick it out of a group of plants and as a Bismarck, and they plant it as a Bismarck, and it does have the same, basically grows just like a Bismarck does. It's a little bit more wind tolerant though. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and leave the vlog there. And I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was informative. If you have any more questions about Sabal causiarum or other sables, leave it down below. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. And if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. And I will see you guys next time.